A lot of people have finally dipped out on the Star Wars franchise after bad product after bad product. People are finally taking off, and the numbers on that new Nielsen report that came out the other day, I did a video on it yesterday, prove that people are leaving. A lot of them are leaving with the Acolyte. I don't know what kept them on for as long as they were there, but they're leaving now. A lot of people have finally lost hope that this franchise can bounce back. I don't think it bounces back. Not under this Lucasfilm regime, that's for sure. And even if somebody came in, let's say like the perfect creator came in and really did try to turn things around and fix things, and we got that actual reboot, and I'm not talking about rebooting the original stuff, I'm talking about rebooting the sequel movies. Maybe they bring out that George Lucas outline and try to put something together. I think even that would do poorly. You need to rest this franchise for 10 years. That's the number that people have been throwing around. I agree with that. I think it needs to go away for 10 years. That's the only way you kind of fix this. And the reason I say 10 years is because in 10 years, people will forget about this stank. This awful show, which isn't getting any better. Even Grace Randolph was out there trashing the latest episode of The Acolyte, and she's been one of its biggest fans. This really sums it up right here. Look how awful this looks. This cost $180 million. Look how bad that Wookiee Jedi looks here. That looks awful. And what is he looking for with that metal detector? I like this from Ricky Makes Bad Videos. They had leftovers from stock, and it's this metal detector from Jakku that Rey had in the first movie, Star Wars Science. Is this a real toy? Were they really selling Star Wars metal detectors? I don't know if that's real or not. This could be fake. But it's funny regardless. That's why they put this in the movie. Because it is true. What was he looking for? It's just some of the strangest stuff in this show. Star Wars Theory called this the worst Disney Star Wars ever made. I don't know. Is this worse than The Last Jedi? That'd be a good poll question, actually. Let me know in the chat. What do you think? Do you think this is worse than The Last Jedi? I'm kind of torn here because, in a way, I kind of actually agree with him. I kind of think this might be the worst Star Wars ever made. At least as a whole, like, because The Last Jedi did tremendous damage, right, with Luke Skywalker. And that's really where the first initial split came. But I'm talking about in just pure cringe. This show is Star Wars cringe at its finest. It's not only just one of the worst Star Wars shows or products ever, I would make the argument it's one of the worst television shows ever made. I mean, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. A lot of people have broke down why, but I would say this is where I agree with him on that, because it's not just poor Star Wars, it's poor entertainment in general. It really is that bad. They're also copyright claiming. He was doing one of his watch parties, and they claimed the video because of that song. At the end, usually we would get kind of, there's a little tune or something at the end of a show. No, they put an R&B song or whatever that was at the end. It's an actual song based on the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. You know, that song they are obviously very proud of. They were so proud of that song when they thought it up. Oh my God, it's going to be a banger for the audience. They're going to love it. So they put this song at the end of the credits. Everyone's roasting it. Everybody's roasting it. But just to show you, like, the way they're trying to promote this show, this is what they're trying to do. Like, they're sending people to The View. So Amanda Steinberg, Amandla Steinberg went on The View to talk about the show and, of course, to play victim because this oppressed millionaire is very, very oppressed, even though she's lived probably a more privileged life than me and most of you watching this video. She's worth alone her own wealth. And I'm not talking about daddy's wealth. Her wealth is like $10 million. But she grew up with a silver spoon. But she's very, very oppressed. Like her song, 400 Years of Taking Their Bullshit. She has never known a hard day in her life. But she went on The View. And by the way, this is where we're at with Star Wars. You know, I get it. Everyone goes on The View to promote stuff. Some things are beyond me because there's a specific audience for The View. These cackling cat ladies, they're on the show. Whoopi Goldberg. I don't even want to get started on her. But there's like one demographic for this show. It's pretty much liberal house moms. And they're watching this show. I know. Are they going to go? Are they going to go watch an action movie? This is why I never got like Liam Neeson went on this show and he got sexually harassed by Joy, whatever her last name was. Like, are they really going to go watch your movie, Liam? You know what I'm saying? But so she goes on here to promote Star Wars, and that should tell you right there where they're trying to move this franchise. But of course, she went on here talking about she's getting threats that people want to end her not showing receipts because they never show receipts because they don't exist, or crazy racist comments. Show some receipts. Nobody cares about this show enough to go after anybody. Nobody cares about this show. And once again, on top of that, you've got a celebrity coming out here saying all this stuff is happening. They never show any receipts. They never show anything that's actually happening. They just go out here and say it because it's a way to deflect the criticism that this show is getting. And it's getting a lot of it. Probably because it's a shitty show. It has nothing to do with who's starring in it. We've been watching Star Wars since the 70s. And nobody had a problem with anybody in it then. I mean, we're talking about the time of Lando. So don't give me this bullshit that all these Star Wars fans are just vicious. Not when shit like House of the Dragon exists that, you know, really disproves a lot of the shit that these people like to come out and say that the fans are doing. It's always the fans. We got to attack the fans. But let's listen to this. It's 44 seconds. Let's take a listen to what the privileged silver spoon actress has to say.
Racist backlash, including threats, and what you call intolerable racism. That is your quote. Can you talk about that a little bit? And what has that been like?
Yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate you giving me the space to speak about it. It's been very painful for me. It's not something that I think you can emotionally prepare for. And we welcome criticism of the show when it comes to storytelling or performance.
No, you don't.
But when it comes...
Because that's all you're getting. All you're getting is criticism on your acting, which is awful, by the way. A little bit better here. But you have the same facial expression the entire show. It never really changes. It's the same face. It reminds me of Brie Larson in Captain Marvel because she had the same facial expression the entire movie. I don't remember if it changed in the Marvel. Yeah, it did. She was actually better in the Marvels, but in Captain Marvel in the first movie, her face never changed. Similar to you, Amandla, your face never changes either in the Acolyte.
Comes to death threats, horrific, violent, racist language, it's unacceptable to me. And
if I do a search and look this shit up, I don't ever find anything on social media. All I ever see is all I ever see are people laughing at the show. That's all I ever see. They just laugh at it because it's a joke. No one cares about what you look like. No one cares what your background is. If you made a good show, no one would care. But you didn't make a good show. You made a bad show, and your performance in it is bad. This happens every Star Wars show now. like clockwork. People come out and say, oh, it's misogynist fans, it's racist fans, every time.
And I've had to think.
But it doesn't happen for these other shows, like House of the Dragon. Mysteriously, it's like they take the day off. They don't bother anybody in that show. It's just these bad shows for some reason. These shows that everybody criticizes for some reason. That's the one all the istophobes focus on. That's the one they have a problem with. It's crazy.
Really deep and hard about.
Have received.
So that's really like kind of the gist of it. It's an 8-minute long segment. But, you know, they're all in there, oh, God, we believe you. You know, couldn't you have printed off a bunch of shit and given them? And they could have made little graphics and shown people. No, because none of that is happening. It's the same song and dance every single Star Wars show. Remember Kenobi? When he was saying that Reva character was getting a bunch of hate? And he did it in his car, too, which was funny. They should have had her do it in her car. Oh, what, you didn't want to show people your Lamborghini or whatever you're driving around in? Such an oppressed person. Anyway, that's pretty much it. It's just funny. This shit keeps going, man. Content every day because these people attached to Lucasfilm got to go out and gaslight and attack fans and use the media to try to damage control this show, and all it does is backfire. It's like an out-of-tune car. Pop, 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 backfiring all the way down Hollywood Boulevard. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.